How many films have you made for Quentin Tarantino?
6.
6. And he puts you in every movie almost at this point, right?
A lot of them.
He's got to. You're his go-to guy.
Well, he's only made 8. You've been in 6.
Well, he couldn't find a place for me in Inglourious Basterds, even though I told him I wanted to be the black French guy. He's like, no, you don't speak French. I'm like, I can learn.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I mean, you're an actor.
He wouldn't let you do
I
that.
need a real French black guy. So.
Are you disappointed in him if he doesn't write you in a role?
No.
No.
I mean, it's never occurred to me because he had never done it.
Right.
Except, well, there was nothing for me to do in Kill Bill.
Right.
And I read it through twice, and I finally went, oh, yeah, I can be this piano player guy.
Right, and you figure out where you belong in his films.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great to have a relationship with a writer-director like that who really believes in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you do Hateful Eight and you read this script, are you thinking greatness right away, or you can't tell with a Quentin Tarantino script? They're so goddamn dense, these scripts.
Oh,
and
you
so
can tell.
You can tell. He's a genius.
Yeah, it's like reading a really good novel or a really good play. This particular film reads like a very theatrical piece. I mean, we actually did a stage reading of it. It could be a play. I actually told him, you should take this and make a Broadway play out of it. We could go to the West End in London and do this
it would
thing,
work on stage.
Do this thing for 6 weeks in London and create a huge sensation, storm into Broadway on a limited run.
Let's do
make
it.
a ton of money and get out.
Is he for that?
He is. He's thinking
good.
about it. But
Quentin comes
it's
up
that
with
kind of thing. But it all depends on the other people.
And when you're doing a film of his, are you thinking Academy Award nomination? Because these films, everybody seems to get nominated who are in his films, right?
No, they don't. No.
They don't?
If you look at Django, only person got nominated was Christoph.
That's true.
Leo should have been nominated. I definitely should have been. I mean,
Right.
I can't imagine any character that had a greater impact. See, my criterion seems to be different than what everybody else's criteria is.
What is
The
your
people who are
criteria?
voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your criteria?
If there's a character in a particular film that is impactful, that moves the script along, and you leave the theater wishing you could spend more time with.
Right. Quentin comes up with shit for you to do, though, in these films, right? I mean, in Django Unchained, there was shit you had to do in the film. They cut it out. It was so despicable, right?
Yeah.
What did they cut out of that film that you had to do?
I had a torture scene. I had a scene where I tortured Django in the barn. That got edited, really wonderfully. I was kind of burning his nipples off with a hot poker.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
mean it was too outrageous? When you were shooting that scene, did you say to yourself, there's no fucking way this is going to be in the movie?
No, hell no. I was when we were shooting it, I was like, this is going to be awesome when people see this shit.
Do you get disappointed when they edit these films and a lot of this wacky shit they have you do is not in it?
Yes.
You do. You're like, wait a second.
I took time to do it, and I felt great when I was doing it, and I know what kind of impact it will have on an audience. And when it's not there, it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Do you go to Quentin and say, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I did.
You do. And then what does he say?
Like, well, it was kind of too much. People give me enough shit about my violence and all this. I said, well, are you going to put out a director's cut so this shit can be in it?
Right.
Because as despicable as Steven is in the film, that's the nice Steven.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a character in Django more impactful than Steven. I mean, Steven's pretty much, as I told Quentin, the most despicable Negro in cinematic history.
Yeah, right. He is.
Yeah,
That's
he
so
is.
true.
And it was deliciously
You've had fun doing
I
that.
had an
Hey, by the
awesome
way-
amount of fun.